All right, so today we're going to dive into something pretty cool. Mr. Beast, and how he built his YouTube empire.
Yeah, Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
He's quite the character. A lot of people are interested in him, especially his success.
Yeah, and we've got this Forbes article, 8 data-driven secrets behind Mr. Beast's YouTube empire.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really fascinating because it's like, you see these viral videos and you think, oh, he's just lucky, or he's just got this natural talent.
Right.
But there's actually a lot of strategy and data analysis going on behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. Tons, a lot more than you think.
Yeah, so we're going to kind of unpack some of that today and see what we can learn from Mr. Beast's approach.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to dig in.
So one of the things that really struck me in this article was this idea of first principle thinking. And they talk about how Mr. Beast and his team, they really break down every single element of their videos.
Yeah.
And they analyze everything, like, why is this working? Why is this not working?
Every little thing, every variable is up for testing and analyzing.
Right. And they have this quote from Chucky, who leads their thumbnail and ideas team. And he says, the number one thing with data is what got you that data.
That's a good question.
Right. It's not just about looking at the numbers themselves, but understanding the why behind those numbers.
Causation.
Yeah, exactly. So what can we learn from that? I mean, this idea of first principle thinking, it's not just for YouTube.
Right.
Right.
You could apply that to anything, really, any project.
Yeah, any kind of creative endeavor business. Like, what are the fundamental principles driving success?
Absolutely. If you can break it down to the core elements, then you can start to see what's actually working and what's not, and then you can improve it, optimize it.
So it's like being a detective.
Yeah.
Right.
A little bit, yeah.
Looking for clues in the data to figure out what's really going on.
Exactly. You got it.
And speaking of clues, Mr. Beast's team, they actually use a tool called Outliers.
Outliers.
Yeah, and what this tool does is it helps them identify videos in any niche that are just wildly outperforming the average.
Interesting. So they're using data to find basically like hidden gems, right?
Yeah, like little pockets of success that maybe nobody else has noticed.
Yeah.
And then they can kind of reverse engineer that success and see what's working, what's driving those views.
That's really smart. So they're not just relying on their own gut feeling. They're actually looking at the data to see what's already working out there.
Yeah, and they're not just chasing trends either. They're looking for those evergreen topics, things that are going to be interesting to people for a long time.
Right, long-term appeal, not just a flash in the pan.
Yeah, and one of the strategies they use is this thing called interest market cap.
Interest market cap, what is that?
Okay, so imagine you've got a video about hydraulic presses.
Okay, I've seen those. They're fun.
Right. They're super satisfying. And then you've got another video about Lamborghinis.
Okay, even better.
Right. So what Mr. Beast does is he combines those two things.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Right.
You got the satisfying crush and the cool car.
Yeah. And suddenly you've got this video that appeals to a much wider audience.
You're tapping into multiple interests at once.
Yeah. It's like, what if we stopped thinking in silos and started looking for those unexpected combinations?
That could lead to some really interesting ideas.
Right. Like, what are those things that we're passionate about that maybe we haven't thought to combine before?
Yeah, I like that thinking outside the box, breaking down those silos.
And, this idea of combining interests, it also ties into this concept of creating content that has lasting appeal.
Right.
Like, chasing trends might get you some quick views, but Mr. Beast is really focused on building content that's going to engage people for a long time.
Yeah, like his Last to Leave series.
Exactly.
Those are classics.
Yeah, and those videos, they're designed to be entertaining and engaging for months, even years to come.
Right. It's not just about what's hot right now. It's about creating something that people are going to want to watch over and over again.
So it's like building a house on solid ground versus building it on sand.
Good analogy.
You want your content to have that strong foundation.
Absolutely.
And speaking of foundations, let's talk about thumbnails.
Okay.
Because this is another area where Mr. Beast's team is incredibly data-driven.
Yeah. Thumbnails they're like the first impression, right?
Yeah, they're the cover of your book.
Exactly.
And they're using data to test and refine their thumbnail designs to make sure that they're eye-catching, they're accurate, they're compelling.
So they're not just, throwing something together. They're really thinking about it.
No, they're analyzing what works, what gets people to click.
Smart.
And it's not just about the thumbnail itself. It's about how it aligns with the video's intro. They want to make sure that the intro delivers on the promise of the thumbnail.
Right. You don't want to You don't want to trick people.
No, you got to build that trust.
Yeah, you got to be authentic.
They've got this data-driven strategy. You've got these killer thumbnails. But then there's also this whole other layer of, storytelling and keeping people engaged once they actually click on the video.
Yeah, you got to have that hook that keeps people watching.
Right. And Mr. Beast is a master at that. Like, he takes these simple concepts and he turns them into these epic narratives.
Yeah, he's got a real knack for storytelling.
It's like he's creating mini movies.
Little mini movies, yeah, with all the drama and the suspense and the excitement.
Right. And he's really good at building anticipation. Like, he'll tease upcoming challenges. He'll give you little hints of what's to come.
Keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Exactly. And it's not just about the visuals either.
Right.
He understands the power of sound design, music, even silence.
Oh, yeah. Sound is so important.
And to create that emotional impact.
Absolutely. It can really make or break a video.
And what's amazing is that he does this across a wide range of content.
Yeah, from challenges to stunts to educational videos, he's got it all covered.
It's like he's cracked the code of human curiosity.
He knows what makes us tick.
Right. He knows what keeps us watching.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that is understanding his audience.
Yeah.
Like, he knows their interest, their sense of humor, what they're looking for.
He's done his research.
He's not just creating content for the masses, he's creating content for individuals.
That's a good point. He makes you feel like he's talking directly to you.
Right, and that's a powerful thing.
Definitely.
Because when people feel seen and understood, they're more likely to connect with your content.
They feel like they're part of something.
Yeah, and that's how you build community.
Community is key.
Right. It's not just about broadcasting your message. It's about creating a dialogue.
Yeah, two-way street.
And Mr. Beast is really good at that. Like, he interacts with his fans. He responds to comments. He features them in his videos.
It makes them feel like they're part of the team.
Exactly. And that's what makes people stick around.
Loyalty.
Yeah, loyalty and engagement.
It's all connected.
So we've talked about data. We've talked about storytelling. We've talked about community.
A lot of ingredients to success.
Is there like one secret ingredient that ties it all together?
I think it's his relentless pursuit of excellence.
Okay.
He's always pushing the boundaries, experimenting with new ideas, never settling for mediocrity.
He's not afraid to fail.
No, he embraces failure as part of the process.
And that's a powerful mindset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's what separates the good from the great.
So he's got this drive,
Yeah.
this ambition, but he also seems very grounded.
Yeah, he's very humble, down to earth.
And he's always looking for ways to give back,
Yeah, he's very philanthropic.
which is really inspiring.
It is. He's a good role model.
So I think there's a lot we can learn from Mr. Beast.
Definitely.
His data-driven approach, his storytelling skills, his community building, his relentless pursuit of excellence, and his commitment to giving back.
It's a winning combination.
Yeah, and it's a reminder that we can achieve great things
Right.
while also making a positive impact on the world.
Absolutely.
So food for thought, right?
Definitely food for thought.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive even deeper into Mr. Beast's world and see what other insights we can uncover.
And it's not just about the numbers, it's about the emotions behind the numbers.
Yeah, like what are those things that really resonate with people on a deeper level?
Exactly. And I think Mr. Beast understands that, he's not just trying to get views, he's trying to create content that people actually care about.
Yeah, and that's where this whole idea of watch time optimization comes in.
Right, watch time, that's the holy grail of YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's not just about getting people to click, it's about keeping them engaged, keeping them watching.
Because that's what tells the algorithm that your content is valuable.
Exactly. And Mr. Beast, he's a master of keeping people hooked. Like I've always been so impressed with how he takes these simple concepts and turns them into these epic narratives. It's like
he's a great storyteller.
Yeah, it's like he's making mini movies.
Yeah. Yeah, with every video, think about the Last to Leave series.
Oh yeah.
It's not just people standing around, it's a story. There's drama, there's conflict, there's a resolution.
And it unfolds over days, sometimes weeks.
Keeps you coming back for more.
Yeah, it's like a real-life reality show.
Exactly, and he's so good at pacing, Like he knows when to speed things up, when to slow things down, when to drop those big moments.
Those cliffhangers.
Yeah, the cliffhangers keep you on the edge of your seat.
And he's really good at building anticipation. Like he'll tease upcoming challenges or
little hints.
Yeah, little hints of what's to come.
Just enough to keep you interested.
And it's not just the visuals either, it's the sound design.
Oh yeah, sound is so important.
And the music, the sound effects, even the silence.
Yeah, he uses silence really effectively.
It's like he's composing a symphony of engagement. using all these different elements.
That's an art form.
To create this immersive experience.
And he does it across so many different types of content. It's amazing.
Yeah, from challenges to stunts to educational videos.
He's got a knack for it.
It's like he's figured out what makes us tick.
Human nature.
Yeah, like what makes us curious, what makes us want to keep watching.
The psychology of entertainment.
And I think a big part of that is understanding his audience.
Yeah, knowing who you're talking to.
Knowing their interests, their sense of humor.
Their demographics.
Yeah, and he's not just creating content for the masses, you know?
Right.
He's creating content for individuals.
He makes you feel like he's talking directly to you.
Yeah, like he gets you.
Yeah, and that's powerful.
And that's how you build community.
Community, everything.
Right. It's not just about broadcasting your message. It's about creating a dialogue.
Or two-way street.
A two-way street. And Mr. Beast is so good at that, like, he interacts with his fans. He responds to their comments.
He features them in his videos.
He makes them feel like they're part of the team.
He's built a real sense of belonging.
Yeah, and that's what creates loyalty.
And engagement.
And ultimately success.
It all comes back to that.
So we've talked about data, we've talked about storytelling, we've talked about community. Is there like one secret ingredient?
One secret ingredient
that ties it all together?
I think it's his relentless pursuit of excellence.
Okay.
He's always pushing the boundaries. He's always experimenting. He's never settling.
He's not afraid to fail.
No, he embraces failure.
And that's a powerful mindset.
It is. It's the growth mindset.
Yeah. It's what separates the good from the great.
The willingness to take risks, to try new things, to fail and learn from those failures.
And he's got that drive, that ambition, but he also seems very, very grounded.
Yeah, he's humble.
Humble, down to earth.
And he's always looking for ways to give back.
Yeah. He's very philanthropic.
Which is inspiring.
It is. It's really cool to see someone who's achieved so much success and is still so focused on making a positive impact.
On using his platform for good.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot we can learn from Mr. Beast.
Tons.
His data-driven approach, his storytelling, his community building, his pursuit of excellence, his commitment to giving back.
It's a blueprint for success.
Yeah. And it's a reminder that we can achieve great things while also making a positive impact on the world.
Absolutely. It's not an either.
Yeah. So food for thought.
Right? Lots of food for thought.
Yeah. It's inspiring to see like someone using their platform for good like that.
Absolutely.
But I'm curious, we've been talking about all this data-driven success, but are there any downsides? Like what are the potential pitfalls of relying so heavily on data?
Yeah. That's a good question. I mean, data it's a powerful tool, right?
Yeah.
But like any tool, it can be misused.
Yeah.
I think one of the potential downsides is that you can lose sight of the human element, Like if you're constantly analyzing and optimizing for engagement, you might forget that you're actually creating content for real people.
Yeah, it's like, are you creating something that you're passionate about, or are you just chasing the algorithm?
Right, exactly. And I think another potential downside is that data can reinforce existing biases.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're only looking at what's worked in the past, you might miss out on new and innovative ideas.
It's like getting stuck in an echo chamber.
Yeah, exactly. So it's important to use data as a guide, but not let it dictate your entire creative process.
So it's about finding that balance between data and intuition.
Right. You got to use both.
Yeah. And I think that's a good takeaway from this whole deep dive. We've seen how Mr. Beast uses data to amplify his creativity. But it's important to remember that data is a tool.
It's not a rule book.
Yeah, it's not the be all and end all.
Right. It can inform your decisions,
Incorrect.
But it shouldn't control them.
So we've explored Mr. Beast's strategies, we've seen the insights, we've even talked about some of the potential pitfalls.
The good and the bad.
But ultimately, it's up to each of us to decide how we're going to use data in our own creative endeavors.
Absolutely. It's a personal choice.
So what opportunities exist for you, the listener, to blend data and intuition in your own pursuits?
That's a great question to think about.
Yeah, and I think the answer is different for everyone.
It is.
But the important thing is to be aware of the power of data.
and the limitations.
Yeah, and to use it in a way that serves your creative vision.
And your audience.
And your audience.
Yeah.
So keep exploring, keep experimenting.
Keep creating.
And keep those creative sparks flying.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today, but we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Mr. Beast and the data-driven strategies behind his success.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.